To be or not to be?
That is the question.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Mark.
Welcome to our weekly podcast, where every week we watch a movie currently available on Tubi.
We have only 25 minutes to discuss and come to the conclusion.
Is this film to be?
Or not to be? Hey everybody. Welcome back. Hello Nick.
Hey Mark.
Gonna do another episode of To Be or Not to Be. Are you ready for this? As I set up my timer. Give ourselves 25 minutes to talk about today's movie. And today we are talking about King of New York. Came out in 1990. It's an hour and 44 minutes. Rated R. It's a thriller, crime, drama. I guess it's considered an independent movie about a New York drug lord released from prison, and he's determined to rule the streets again with a vengeance. And it's a gritty action film. It stars Christopher Walken, Lawrence Fishburne, David Caruso, Wesley Snipes, Giancarlo Esposito, Steve Buscemi, and it's directed by Abel Ferrara. And here's the trailer.
Got a message from Frank White. He wants to talk.
I was making a lot of money off them Colombians. You tell him she made a big mistake with me.
In a war for the streets of New York, only one king shall rise.
From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in. It's my turn.
I know what you're up to, White. Forget it. I'm gonna make you and your friends disappear long before that.
Are you arresting me?
We waste our time so Frank's Park Avenue attorney can get him out in 10 minutes. This whole system favors the scumbag. We risk our lives every night, and Frank gets rich on killing people. Every time Frank kills somebody out there, it's our fault. With or without you, I'm gonna get Frank.
I feel no remorse. It's a terrible thing. I lost a lot of time. From here on, I can't waste any. Come by the Plaza Hotel. I got work for you.
You expected to get away with killing all these people?
I spent half my life in prison. I never got away with anything, and I never killed anybody that didn't deserve it.
They took permanent vacation in hell.
You have the right to remain silent, so shut the f up.
Go, go!
You're welcome. You're all welcome!
And Nick, is there anything you want to say before we jump in and set the timer? Because I picked the film, and I have to admit I have a little bit of an agenda, and I was very curious as to what you were gonna think and feel about this movie. So before we jump in, is there anything you wanted to mention?
No, I think everything I can say, we can say it within the time limit. And if not, then, so be it.
I agree. All right, so then without any further ado, we are going to start the timer now. All right? We're off. So I just wanted to say, major questions I have, about you in this movie, and hopefully I can get some answers. First is, what actor do you think wins this movie? Because we got a pretty stunning cast, and we have some very variety of performances going on here. let's go through the list, and let's see who we maybe think wins the movie here. You want to throw out your nomination?
Well, that's hard because looking at Christopher Walken, he's really good in this. Like, I don't feel like the script gave him a lot to work on insofar as who his character is, aside from, some gangster tropes. But to take a character that isn't that fleshed out and to portray him with such confidence and charisma, that's really something. But on the other side, you've got Lawrence Fishburne, who is actually credited as Larry Fishburne in this movie at the time. And apparently his character, because his character really stands out, and apparently a lot of that was him. Like, that the character of Jimmy Jump wasn't really, like, the words were on the page, but it wasn't really, expressed the way, like, he took that and made it his own. So it's kind of hard to say which is best in that regards.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah, I mean, Fishburne's performance is it's stand out. It's amazing. This Jump character just comes to life. And then you have Walken, who's giving just really weird line reads. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're starving while you guys grew fat, and he's doing these, like, it's almost a little bit comical and a little bit menacing. It's this layered performance that I don't think Walken is just amazing in this movie. But let's not skip over Caruso as well. Howdy Doody is the one guy called him.
I wasn't that big on Caruso. He just seemed angry cop, and it might have been because the cops' motivations weren't really explored, why they wanted to go after Frank so much that they would actually break the law and try and, take him out themselves. And maybe if they'd given the cops a bit more depth, I would have liked him more. That said, I did like Wesley Snipes because he had a more subdued performance, but I felt it worked for that character. This black cop surrounded by Irish cops.
Yep.
So I felt his performance, like, there was sort of like a subtle tension there.
I noticed, yeah, and I especially this watch through, and then he kind of he simmers and he heats up during the car chase. So okay, we got a fourth name in there. Or a third at the very least, because I'll go to bat for Snipes as well. Okay, we see Buscemi for like 5 minutes in this movie, but he's amazing.
I saw a brief interview with him earlier today because I was like, I looked up a few things. I did a little research, and apparently he was cast. And he arrived, and the costume people are like, "Oh, you're white." They didn't.
Yeah,
I
heard this. That he originally had.
Yeah, so then he's in that one scene, and then he's in another scene where Jimmy Jump's crew meets up with Frank White for the first time. He's sort of in the back, and apparently the director kept saying, "Yeah, go further back. Go further back." The camera catch it all. Yeah. But I did like him in it for the brief appearance.
Yep. See with Giancarlo Esposito, you see him just for a little bit there as well. He kind of shows up a little bit more, but he's not doesn't speak a lot. He seems to be just the accountant kind of guy.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, he was also one of the people that did the hit on the guy in the phone booth, which I thought that was brilliantly done.
It was. Yeah, set it up for us. What did you love? Because that brings us to best scene. Let's start talking about the best scenes in the movie, and that's going to be up on the top of the list. Go ahead, Nick, set that up.
Well, I wouldn't say that this is necessarily the best scene, but it does stand out because you got this. He looks like a well-dressed gangster making his way slowly through this very sleepy whorehouse, groping almost every woman as he makes his way out. And then he goes to a phone booth, and I'm not sure if it was a screwdriver or a knife. They jammed in the door so he couldn't get out. And then they just opened up on him, like the kind of killing where it's like they're making an example.
Yeah, it's awesome. and they set up that character perfectly. Well, I like a little bit, especially watching this movie a bunch of times. There's a lot of show don't tell in this movie. They don't tell you. But you pick it up in the performance, or you pick it up in the what the character's doing, and I love that. Okay, that's great. That's a fantastic scene. I'm gonna put that, for me again, that opening, like that Tito sequence with Steve Buscemi and Lawrence or Larry Fishburne. It's dope, Tito, and the whole thing, like feel like somebody's watching us, and I don't know. There's just that sequence is great to me because it's just I love it. But there's got to be some great scenes in this movie. So I mean, working through the list, do you have another contender? Maybe not your number one, but another contender.
Well, I think the best action scene in this movie is the car chase.
But yes, I think it might be the best scene. It's great. It's out there.
I'll say this: the hits in this movie when they like whack someone, very well done. The action scenes a little sloppy, but that one stood out.
Oh yeah.
Like especially when you have that cop, like they first take off and one of the cop grabs the door of the limo as they're taking off, and I knew it was going to be the guy that got married because as soon as you see that cop getting married, you're like, oh, he's going to die.
Yeah, he's got to be the guy that dies.
Best death. He just whack.
Although you know what, everyone dies in this movie. You know what I mean? The director even said, "Everyone dies in my movie." Like everyone dies in this movie, and that's another great thing about it. But no, that guy gets it great, and nobody rides for free. Yes. I love that line. The car chase. It's raining. You have a limo.
The sunroof, like with two pistols.
Yes. Okay, I think that might be. To me, that's up there for one of the best scenes in the movie. It's just so good. The whole thing. You get Wesley Snipes gets an F you mother. Everything is great. The music's even pretty cool too. It's for a kind of subdued synthy soundtrack, it kind of starts to pick up and being really neat.
Well, since we're talking about favorites, is there any particular line that stands out to you? Because, like, there wasn't a lot of dialogue, but the line, there were some lines that really stood out to me.
I love the script of this movie and I love the dialogue, but I've seen it so many times that that's maybe part of the experience. But yes, there's some great. Quite simply, the one after the funeral. Hey you, and then he shoots him. Like I know but that's what I'm saying. Like it's so Spartan. It's I think brilliant. And it's one of my favorite whacks in the entire movie, and it's so short and so awesome. And he just just boom. I absolutely love it. That's definitely up there. Snipes versus Fishburne when they're fighting. Where's my soda at? Yeah, I just love the whole root beer thing. Walken's line reads make almost everything he says interesting in this movie, so you can take just about anything that he says. Although one of the best little moments is he says, and when he shows him the money, he's like, I like money, or something like that. He does this like noise. I love money. It's so. I think this might be the first time I ever heard the words "bust a cap in your ass." It was either that or The Simpsons parodying it. I don't. Oh gosh, this movie is kind of king of the one-liners, and I think that's part of because of its longevity. So, what about you? What sticks out with you as far as the lines?
Well, there are two that really stand out. One is I actually wrote it down just right after it happened was "room service, motherfuckers."
Oh gosh, yes.
The other one that stood out to me was Walken. Fishburne had just, Walken had asked him what's in the glass, and Fishburne said it's like root beer. You want some?
Yeah.
He crushes the glass. And,
what's in the cup? Yeah.
And Walken's just like, there's some things I just don't do. And I don't know, something about the way he said it.
And there's this tension. You don't know if they're friends or enemies. Like the first time, this is your first time watching it, so you're like, oh, are they gonna kill each other, or are they gonna? And then they laugh, and you get to see him do the dance. He does this like he does a walk-in dance because I love that, dude.
Yeah, and there was also tension at the end of the scene as Walken had asked him, "Why didn't you visit me?" And he said, "Well, no one wants to see you in a cage." And Walken
Who'd
just
want
sort
you
of
to
goes,
see you in a cage, man? That
"Oh,
is
okay."
it's like,
And there's
it's
this look
so
on
good.
Walken's face. I at that point, I almost thought that the plot of the movie was going to be Walken essentially going to war with his former lieutenant as he tries to take over his former position at the head of the gang. But that, didn't come to pass. I think, I don't know, I really like the first half of this movie, and I like that car chase at the end, and like that, the shooting of Caruso and all that. Though I think the weakest part of this movie is the plot. Because you've got like really great composition, really great style, but the plot sort of doesn't really go anywhere. Like you have Walken get out, he contacts one gangster. The gangster tells his messenger to essentially fuck off. Walken goes and kills him, and that happens essentially again with another gang, the Triad. After that, and I think we needed something there to show why the cops hated Frank White so much. Like maybe he killed a cop, or like before he went to prison, or that's what he went to prison for. So I think the plot was the weakest part for me. A lot of style though.
Yeah, the style is, it's definitely on full display, and I have to admit, like, it's a movie that it like almost has a hypnotic quality to it, because I just get lost in the scenes and the performances and the dialogue, and I tend to, I tend to stop thinking about it too much, you know what I mean? And like I will say, like, yeah, he does that speech with like this whole system favors the scumbag, and yeah, you almost wish, and I guess in some ways they did do this, somebody else, kind of extrapolated a lot of these ideas, but because have you ever seen The Wire? Because like a lot of this kind of ends up, so you're seeing both sides, you know what I mean, of the whole thing, of the equation, and you're getting to see the cops, and you're getting to know them, their lives. Just that wedding scene, by the way, I'm gonna put that wedding scene up there as well for one of the best scenes too, because that whole comedy routine that he does, it's amazing. It's so great. But yeah, like the cops, you get to see their side, but then you're sort of also, you get to see like the sort of street level, like Lawrence Fishburne's gang side, and then you also get to sort of see like the the Kingpin kind of Christopher Walken character kind of, and I've watched it a few times, and I kind of forget every time while I'm watching it, but afterwards I'm always like, this isn't a very realistic movie, like you know what I mean, like it's kind of like he just walks out of jail and like just walks back into his life that there's no way he could do, you know what I mean? Like
like he steps out of prison and into his limo.
Yeah, there's just and that's just it. It's so much style that I forget every time. But I love that there's a limo, and I love that the limo is almost like a character in this movie, and it's sort of like this. It's not a. It's like I said, it's very stylized. It's not realistic. It kind of becomes like more of like a dream or a metaphor or something. Especially after you watch it a few times. I will agree with you, though. It kind of is weak on plot. It's just thing happens, then thing happens. Like, but it mesmerizes me every time, so.
Yeah, it's very stylized because you got stylized violence, you got stylized drug use, you got stylized sex, and that the latter is in some instances a little bit comical. Like there's one
at
scene
the time
where
it was very provocative, though. Like when it came out, it was very like oh my gosh, because this is early 90s, like the 80s,
after the prudism of the 80s,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I can't help but think of that one scene where very stylized because it's all kind of bluely lit as the gang party down before the cops bust in, and
it's so good.
There are two people that they're going as though they're about to kiss. They open their mouths and they lick the air, and they do that like 3 times before they kiss. Do like a closed mouth kiss, and that just cracked me up.
I love that scene and the music, this like in the song. Everything just feels so kind of like of the time new, but now it's like it almost feels like this perfect melange, kind of to like set the scene. And I gotta say, like I have a couple theories, Nick, a couple tinfoil hat theories, like I do about movies, as you know, and one of them is a sort. It's maybe not a theory as much as just an idea about the fact that there's red and blue in this movie, and the sort of like almost become like juxtapositional representation of something. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm reaching out, or do you know?
No, I don't think you're reaching out because essentially when, like, you've got scenes that are well lit, and that's usually when Frank is among high society type of thing, or
Yes.
the scenes with the cops. But then you got a lot of dimly lit scenes or scenes that have a very distinct color scheme.
Yep. Yep.
The blue one with the party really stood out to me.
Yeah, me too. When I think about this movie, I think about Christopher Walken looking at New York and a blue light on him. And that's just like the visual thing that comes up in my head every time. And I'm always like, yeah, I want to watch that movie again. And part of it is just how beautiful it looks. Yeah, there's like a red world and a blue world. Like there's kind of 2 worlds in this movie. You know what I mean? There's like the middle class world, and then there's the super riche world. And they're right beside each other in these cramped, these beautiful sets that that are super lived in. And you get to see both worlds, and somebody that kind of walks between them. You know what I mean? So, well, we got like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say Christopher Walken's character, Frank White, is sort of an odd, like, composition of things, because he's this murderous, dope-slinging quasi Robin Hood. Though I don't know if he actually ever gave any money to the poor. He just like seemed to like, I'm going to build this hospital, but he never seemed to actually give any money. Like, he had like a fundraiser dinner type of thing, and he tried to get like the triad to essentially, hey, we'll work together and we'll share all the profits and we'll give some of it to the hospital. But I don't know if he actually did anything good. Like he had aspirations to, but I don't think he actually did anything good in the movie.
No, I think it's interesting because he talks about being good, and he's like, if I had, he knows he's got limited time. He was like, if I had more time, I'd do some good and or whatever. And
he says, if I had like 2 years, even one, like
it's perfect.
Like he knows he's got an expiration date, one way or the other.
Yep, he does. And when they're on the subway with Roy Bishop, that cop that catches up with him, and he's like, "What are you going to stay behind here forever?" And he's like, "I don't need forever." Right? I love the script of this movie. I do. I adore it. It's I think very subtle sometimes, but yeah, you kind of the sense that he wants to do good, but he isn't a good guy like by any means. But he's complicated in that way. And I think I do think another thing I like about this movie, kind of, because even when he dies at the end, like he's looking up through the front window, and he sees the like angel and the cross from the cab, after the cabbie leaves. I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's beautiful, because it's kind of what this movie does a little bit. You know what I mean?
One thing I thought was interesting is that he said to, I forget who it was. I think it might have been actually his counselor girlfriend, like his lawyer/girlfriend, because he had like 3 love interests in this movie. 2 bodyguards that he seemed to, that he hooked up with, as well as his lawyer. But ultimately he said to, I think his lawyer, that he never killed anyone that didn't deserve it. But then you get towards the end and he kills, like, the only not bad cop. Like, he wasn't a good cop, arguably, because if he was, he wouldn't have taken Frank under the bridge, and he would have reported suspicions of his guys, going rogue. But he wasn't a bad guy. So I find it interesting that when Frank kills someone that, like, in the act of killing someone that arguably didn't really deserve it, he himself gets shot.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. That's sort of like the moment he sort of he transgresses that little code. He's up for. I never thought about that. I'm gonna have to watch that next time because I know I'm watching it again. That's very interesting. I never because I the ending always just kind of hits me by surprise every time, to be honest with you. And it's, I don't know, that's a really cool way to look at it. Well, we have like 3 minutes left. So is there anything you want to talk about? Like, guys, to me, like,
I had a chuckle that when the cops broke in, wearing essentially Jason bag masks, like from Friday the 13th Part 2.
There are horror movie references throughout this film. There's a Halloween 4 poster kind of tucked in the background at one point. And then later on, when they go to the cinema, they're watching Nosferatu.
Yeah, well, you know what? That actually makes sense. As I understand it, if I recall correctly, this director, one of his earlier films, wasn't it Carrie or something to that effect?
No, I don't think he did Carrie. He did he did one called China Girl. Well, here, okay, so we have like 2 minutes left, but I'm going to present to you my little tinfoil hat theory, the real one, Nick. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
But what if I essentially think, actually, deep down, I can't prove it, but I think that Christopher Walken, Frank White, in this movie is a vampire. What do you think about that? He's got a, he's vampire coded at the very least, all right? You've got to give me that. Like, he's got some vampire things going on for sure. He seduces just about anybody he walks into. He wants. He rides the big black, limo, which could be like his kind of like Dracula's kind of carriage. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Well, I don't think he is a vampire. There are some traits that could be vampire-like that you could attribute to him. Like, I don't think you really see him in daylight, or if you do, he's inside of his limo.
Yep.
But aside, and one thing I would like to note is his bodyguards, his female bodyguards that were essentially like. They weren't just bodyguards. They took part in like the raid on the Triad, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, it sort of reminded me of the Deadly Viper Assassin Squad from Kill Bill. Like this, you got this enigmatic,
totally.
Charming villain, and he's got these female killers at his side.
That is so true, and so you wonder if there maybe was some inspiration there. Either way, yeah. No, I know I'd say the only weakness this has is that you don't get more. There could be an entire TV show about this world, these characters, and this just seems like you get the final episode and that's it.
Yeah, I think it could have used a stronger plot with a more direct conflict. That said, I think the style and the performances make up for that.
Oh. You hear that? That's our alarm.
Yep.
So that's all the time we have to talk about King of New York. And that was a great discussion, Nick. Thank you very much. But now we have to come to our final verdict. And because I picked this movie, that means I have to deliver my final verdict first. And I think this movie is very much Tubi. I think this is a classic. It probably you haven't seen it before, but it's I definitely recommend it if you like anything near this genre. You're I think gonna like it. But it's got some amazing performances it's right at the cusp. It's right at the beginning of some new thing, I totally think this is a Tubi movie. And Nick, I'm interested. For you, was this movie to be or not to be?
I'd say on the whole, Tubi. I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie. I wanted a stronger plot, though it does make me curious about the director's follow-up work, Bad Lieutenant. Is that, from what I've read, seems to have deeper characterization. Like, you get more into the head of the character. So I'm curious to see his next movie.
Once again, we got 2 Tubis. Yay, good job. All right. Well, thank you, Nick, for joining me, and thank you, audience, for joining us. Next week, Nick, you have the choice as to which movie we're going to be watching. So, what did you pick?
We will be watching The Guard.
The Guard. Awesome. I don't think I've seen that, so I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, you folks will join us. And Nick, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, good conversation.
Like
Hope
always,
you have
man.
a great evening.
You too, man. Thanks again. Bye.